Hey guys, it's Ashley with Pugs and Pearls, and today we are going to be doing a get ready with me video pretty much featuring mostly new and some old Wet n Wild products. So Wet n Wild I feel like has come out with a lot of new stuff over the last few months. They came out with all this unicorn stuff. I got the unicorn brush that I wanted to test out. I also saw some stuff on their website that I hadn't seen in stores. I don't know how new it is. This is Get the Skinny eyeliner. It's a felt tip. It's supposed to be a skinny eyeliner, so I'm going to try that. Also, I've never tried their lip liners, so this is a nice pink one we're going to try. They have the rainbow highlighter. This is the bronze over the rainbow, so I thought that would be fun. And then some of their spring collection I never got around to getting, so I finally purchased it online. This is their Hieroglyphic heart. We're going to use this for the shadow today. And then for the highlighter, this one looked really good from all of the reviews I saw. It's called the Sweetest Bling, and it's kind of like a pink. And then also they had this really pretty Kabuki brush. It's like this heart-shaped Kabuki, and I do have some of their other brushes and I really like them, so we're going to be testing those things out today. And then in addition to that, I had also picked up these brushes. Now this was like an impulse purchase on Instagram. I saw these. They're from a company called Sparkle Warehouse. Honestly, it took a couple of weeks to get them to me. They were fairly cheap. They were like $20, and the packaging just kind of sold me. I don't really know how good quality they're going to be, but here's what they are. They're called, I think, like the mermaid. If I'm not mistaken, they're called like the mermaid brushes. And again, these were like $10, 10 brushes for I think like 20 something dollars. And again, they're really soft. I took them out, I kind of played with them, but I haven't used them to apply makeup, so we're going to try them out today. But they have little like fins on the end of them, so again, like mermaidy. I thought it was cool. I've been in a mermaid mood ever since Pirates of the Caribbean came out, even though there were no mermaids in that movie. But not the point. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I hope you guys enjoy.
So guys, we're going to start out with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I'm just going to spray this on my face. It's one of my favorite primer waters to use, and I'm just using my hands to kind of let that sink in. And then I'm going in with the Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer from First Aid Beauty. I actually put a little bit too much on. I went a little crazy, so I ended up taking a napkin and just kind of blotting off a little bit because it was a lot. So very moisturizing, just a little bit will go a long way. And then I took my Sephora Coconut Lip Balm. I'm using this as a lip primer before I do my lipstick, so letting my lips get moisturized with that. And then I'm taking the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. This is one of their newer ones, and you can see it's a little bit tinted. It's supposed to give you more of a kind of bronzy glow, and I think you can tell, like, once I put it on, it definitely did darken up my face a little bit, but it's pretty subtle. It's not one of my favorite primers from them. Then for my eye primer, I'm taking the BH Cosmetics Smooth Canvas. This is the shade Malt, and I'm just going to be taking my fingers and putting this over my eyes to cover up any discoloration or redness and prepping them for shadow. And then I'm going in with my Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I'm sorry I didn't show you a close-up, but I'm just filling in any sparse parts of my brow just to make it look a little bit more full and put together. And then for foundation, we're taking the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Rose Ivory. This is one of my favorite foundations. It has a paddle, and I just kind of paste it on. It does kind of have a paint smell, so be aware of that, but it does go away. And then I'm taking my first brush from this little mermaid collection, and I have to say I didn't really enjoy this for foundation. I really didn't see a brush in that set that was for foundation, so I just tried to use one. But it took a long time to blend in since it was so small. So eventually I kind of gave up on it, and I went back to my BH Cosmetics Sculpt and Blend set. This is my Kabuki brush. It's my favorite to blend in foundation, so that just kind of helped make things look a little bit more evened out. And then for concealer, we're taking the Wet n Wild Concealer. This is one of their correctors, and I'm just going to be putting this underneath my eyes, on some of my red spots, and underneath my chin to cover up any discoloration. And I'm using that same brush. That worked a little bit better just for those smaller areas. And then we're taking the Hieroglyphic Heart palette. This is their spring palette, and we're going to go in with this kind of mauve matte shade first. And I'm taking another brush. This is more of a just kind of a crease brush, and I actually enjoyed using this. I thought it did a great job. So I'm just blending that shade all throughout my crease, and then also kind of focusing in that outer corner, and again just trying to make this a nice crease shade, and I really enjoy it. I think this is a really pretty mauve color. And again, just blending that out. And then we're going to take this brush that's a little bit more tapered, and I'm going to be going in with the eyelid shade. This is kind of like a dark bronzy brown, and I'm just going to be focusing this in the outer corner, and then I'm going to blend in a little bit on the eyelid and then also into the crease as well, just to create some dimension. Again, I think this is a really pretty shade and a really pretty trio. I think the shadows are very pigmented, so I really did think that went well. And I'm going back in with that fluffy brush just to kind of blend out into the crease again. And then I'm taking this kind of flat angled brush, and I'm using this, the brow bone shade. I'm just going to be putting this all over the lid. I didn't really like this brush. It wasn't compact enough to really pick up more of the pigment, and it was really big, so it was hard to be precise about placement. It kind of went everywhere. But again, I just kind of patted this all over my lid and into my corner. And then next up, we're taking the Wet n Wild Skinny Tip Eyeliner. This is my first time trying this product, and I'm just going to try to draw a nice straight line on my eyes. I do find that it's very difficult to do this with skinny liners, so I end up putting on more and more, which kind of defeats the purpose of a skinny liner. So it comes off a little bit thicker, but I tried to do my best. I just kind of have a shaky hand. And then for lashes, I'm taking my Essence Princess Lash Mascara. This is a great for lengthening and volumizing. So I'm just going to be coating my lashes with that until I get it to a desired kind of length and, again, fullness. I really do like it. I think it's a nice affordable mascara that you can get at Ulta. And then for my lower lashes, I always take the Wet n Wild Mega Length. Again, I forgot to show you a picture of it. It's in the purple tube, and again, very easy to find at the drugstore. Then we're going in with the new Wet n Wild Kabuki brush. I'm going to be taking my BH Studio Pro Powder. This is in the shade 215, and again, this just kind of matches me really well. This was a really nice brush. It was super soft, and it did a great job of putting powder on and just setting my foundation. But I also wanted to try some of the brushes from, again, this mermaid kit. So I took this dome-shaped one, and again, I did the same thing just to the other side, and I thought this one worked very nicely. It was a medium-sized brush, but it did a good job of applying the powder as well. And then I am going to take the Essence Lash and Brow Gel Mascara just to cover, to kind of make sure my brows stay put and just kind of put them in place. It works really well. It kind of locks them in for the day so that they don't move around and that the hairs stay all in one direction. And then I'm taking a Wet n Wild Ombre Blush. This is Mai Tai Buy You a Drink, and I'm also taking an angled mermaid brush. This worked really, really great. It was very precise, and I love this color. As you can see, it gives you this kind of like really pretty peachy gold shimmer to the face. It's a beautiful blush for summertime. I've had it for a while now, but I liked that brush. I thought it did a great job. Then next up, we're taking the new Wet n Wild Color Icon Highlighter. This is in the bronze shade, and I'm taking the unicorn brush to kind of do this since it's kind of pinched and angled. And I'm just going to be putting this into the hollows of my cheek, on the temples of my face, down my jaw, and down my neck. Now, this is a super gold highlighter. I didn't realize how shimmery it was, and I probably wouldn't do this again, but it definitely did kind of come off as a very bronzy, glowy look. And then for highlighter, we're taking the Sweetest Bling. This is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter, and we're taking this fan brush. It looks a little kind of crooked, but it did work, and it did apply it very nicely. And this is a gorgeous light pink highlighter. It really does show up. I hope you can kind of see it, but it really does give you a little bit of pink icy bling. And then we're taking the gel lip liner. This again is new to me. This is called Never Petal Down. It's super creamy. I really like how easy it slid onto my lips. It felt very moisturizing. It did not dry out my lips in the slightest. And it was a little bit more pink than I had anticipated, but I really did enjoy using this for the first time. I thought it did a really good job. And then I'm taking the Wet n Wild. This is their liquid matte lipstick in the shade Rebel Rose. This is a beautiful dusty pink. I really, really enjoy wearing the shade, and I'm just going to be topping it over that lip liner. And again, it just gives it a little bit more color because it is a bit dusty, so over the lip liner it kind of pops a little bit more. So guys, this is what it looks like when the look is complete. I hope you guys enjoy.
Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I did want to give you kind of some mini reviews on what products I use, just tell you my thoughts. I absolutely love how simple and easy, but I really like the gold and, you know, kind of mauvey purple and, you know, bronzy brown. I love the eye look. It's so simple. I used just these 3 shades. These were really good. They were pigmented, easy to use. The highlighter is banging. It is a beautiful light pink, and you can see that it's light pink. This is really pretty. Loved that. The bronzer is very, it is a highlight bronzer, which is super shimmery. So I kind of like put it up here. So there's like gold, like, you know, gold shimmer all over the place. So I don't know if this is necessarily one that I would wear a lot. I feel like it's more if you really want maybe some bronzy cheeks, I would put it with a, you know, since it's already got a highlighter, I would do it kind of like as a bronzy cheek look, not so much contouring like I did. That was probably not a good idea, but still very, very bronzy gold, very gold bronzer. This little Kabuki, beautiful, did a really good job of applying my powder, loved it. And then the lip liner and then the eyeliner. The eyeliner is very skinny. I like how black and how dark it was. I'm not very good at applying skinny liner because I'm used to doing more of a thick line, but I thought it did go on nicely. It's just hard for me to control. Again, with a thin line, it's just, you know, you have to be so precise. But I do like how it looks. I hope that it wears well. We'll have to test it out because, again, this is my first day testing it. But so far, it's good. It was just kind of hard for me to apply, and that's just, it's not the product, it's just that it's a skinny liner and those are more difficult. The gel lip liner was super smooth, super creamy, went on so nice, so I really did like that. And then the Unicorn Glow highlighter brush definitely got dirty quickly, not a surprise, but it can do kind of contouring, so I like that because it's a little bit thicker of a fan brush. So I definitely did my bronzer with it, and I think it will be good for that in the future too. And then let's talk about some of the brushes that I used from Sparkle Warehouse from their like not unicorn, this is their mermaid brush collection. I ended up using, let's see, 7 out of their 10 brushes. The powder brush was very nice. This is kind of like their dome shape. This worked really well, no problems there. This was the one I used for blush. It's like a small angled, very nice, very precise and good for the blush. This is what I used for foundation, and to be honest, this did not really work out, and I'm not sure that this is really meant for foundation, but there wasn't anything else close, so I just wanted to try it. It definitely had a hard time moving it around. It eventually worked, but I even went over it with another brush that you could see in the video, so I didn't really enjoy this one for that particular purpose, but it was the closest one that I could find. This was a small kind of angled tip brush that I used to apply my outer V. It worked decently okay. This little fan brush did a good job of applying highlight, so I did like that. It's a little like misshapen, but it worked just fine. This was the one I used for just blending. It's a little bit big, but it worked. And then this one is what I used to apply, really like pack on that middle color. And again, it's still a little too big and maybe a little bit too thick for that purpose, but you know, I made it work. These definitely aren't like super high quality brushes. They're not like awful, they'll work for you, but again, I think I bought them mostly for the packaging, not necessarily so much for the function, even though a few of them will be okay and do some work for me, but not all of them I think are going to be super functional. There should have been some smaller ones that should have been good for the eye, but I didn't feel like there were a ton of really great ones. Like I said, you know, they worked, but it is what it is. You're kind of paying for the packaging, and they're not that expensive, you know, at $20. And then I noticed some of the barrels on some of them were a little loose, like on one they were a little loose. So again, not like, we're not talking great quality here. It's more about the pretty packaging. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review / tutorial, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.